is your message is please be more objective, then yeah, I can see it as a conclusion, but I think that that really is dependent on who you are talking to.
Yeah, I thought it worked for me once I heard kind of Ryan's call to action. I was like, I get who I am.
I know who I am.
Suddenly,
what I'm
I know.
supposed to do.
And then like I thought it worked really well. The cool thing was it made me appreciate Julie's section a lot more, which I thought what you guys were doing there was really cool. And I think you guys can add more of that stuff in there.
Right.
I think that'd be some really juicy stuff to tie your parts together.
Yeah, you've got really good stuff to shape and work with. So let's go to design.
I think it was a really good mix of, I felt like it started out really strong, lots of good images but not overwhelming. There was one thing, I think it was the Detroit slide of the protest, where the text, oh yeah, go back one. That's really hard to read on that background, and maybe it's because the lights are on or my angle, but the upper right corner.
Oh, the upper right, yeah.
Yeah,
sorry guys.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to read it.
even with that, it's okay, but that's just something that, yeah, using the white text is great, but when it's it's small and on a sky like that, I don't know if it would look weird if you did it contrasting or did something so that would stand out.
Was that already on, was that your screenshot? Already
No,
had that
that's
on it?
not. We were trying to cite the source and where we're pulling the
Okay.
picture from. And so that's a question. What is the appropriate way to do that? And I know it probably varies depending on.
Well, if you're just gonna do a source, I mean, it's obvious that it's protesters, and you're gonna be telling us where. For source line, all you need is, and it would be easier down here where it's darker,
Just
is to just say, I mean, which publication did you get this out of?
CBS.
Yeah, then you just say source, CBS.
Okay.
But when it's up there, even though I didn't need it,
Yeah.
because
It
it's
makes
up there, I'm
it-
trying to
yeah.
read it, where if it's just at the bottom is like, and it says source, then you go, oh, okay, I don't need to worry about it
Yeah.
next time. That was one thing, but yeah, otherwise I think the really good use of images and to illustrate the point and not a whole lot of, really very little text on the screen, just kind of some key points.
Yeah, yeah.
For most of it, and your stuff at the end was harder, but we kind of, there was a big shift from kind of content like image rich to more just bullet points at the end there, and it's kind of a weird transition.
Sure.
Yeah. And it's a hard thing, I think, to put some graphics to some of that
I almost
stuff.
thought it'd be kind of cool if there was you actually had a supply and demand curve.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is what good analysis could look like, guys.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
show that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just with a graph or something like that. And on that, for content, obviously, when you're talking about elasticities, you need to know that your audience is studied economy. I thought it was awesome that you guys use it because we just covered it, but that would be tough if you're just talking to, a bunch of reporters or something that are like, what the heck is he talking about? But
Yeah. Anything that,
I found that was my favorite part. I thought your presentation, the design was really fresh and engaging. So what am I gonna put on there next? What kind of picture is it gonna be?
What's that a picture of?
that's neat.
picture book.
I think good intonation, no one was just like droning, good inflection in everybody's voice, and it seemed like smooth transition from one person to the other, didn't seem choppy.
The style of the transitions was good, and so when you get that logic
Mhm.
in there too. Anything to add to the design part?
I like the demographics thing. Like I was thinking, what it could, to which portion of the US it could affect. I could see from the demographics thing is that about 80% of the US is affected by that thing.
Yeah.
This one's one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, this was very good. And whenever I found there is a requirement for the text, and you have the picture there, so it was good.
You can go to the next slide. This one I liked. It doesn't. I was looking for on the left to look on the right and see like the same order and the same information, and a lot of it's there, but it's not. It's not the same kind of like this to this, this to this.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's all there. You just have to look for it a little bit. But I was definitely, when I first looked, I was trying to
They
find.
stole that
Yeah,
graphic.
you can
Yes, we
blend
did.
it.
No, I know you guys did design it, but, the first one, what people think it's a teenager, one over there,
More than one.
that would be the first age, not
Yeah.
the,
Yeah.
so that was one thing I noticed on that is,
Yeah, so the
Yeah.
professional designer actually didn't do a good job on that.
Yeah, honestly, the person that they hired there needs to work, but obviously, if you guys are gonna spend 50, 60 hours on this and you had Photoshop and you're gonna build it
Yeah.
from scratch, you know what I'd expect.
Do you have anything to add to that?
The biggest thing, I really just appreciated where you guys had, you just didn't have a lot of text in some places, and I thought that was perfect. Like, for your whole section, I thought you did just a great job talking off of your images. And I think the only place that I felt like I kind of wanted a few more images was in your section, right? But just because I would have been, like, even that much more juicy.
Yeah.
Right, when especially since it's at the end.
Yeah.
You've gotten spoiled with all these
Yeah.
great images. And so one thing to do, and you were close to it, is that you've got the images and that has become your style for this presentation. And then decide how you are going to select font and use white space to complement that style for the slides that are just text, because they were just plain black and white. And that can work really well, but if you do that, then the font has to be really designy looking, like a professional designer chose, this black and white combination. That can be a really nice complement to all the colors that you had, something along those lines. And then see if we can get an image going. And something kind of minor to point out is that it's easier to read bullet points if they're capitalized the way a sentence is, rather than like a title. And so when we capitalize property knows it's not a rule, but just something. I liked the way that your titles had the message, had messages in them. And to even Kevin be able to say the words buying power, that kind of thing. And sometimes you all did that and sometimes you didn't. But you were doing like an 80-90% job of picking up the keywords from the title and the elements of the slide so that we were with you on that. And as you rehearse this, just go the full distance on that because you knew what you were doing. And polishing that up would be great. And there was a lot of I'm sorry, I'm trying to talk and I'm trying to talk and read at the same time, and we know people can't do that. I would put the minimum wage and the number of people earning it on the screen, flash it on the screen. Would be kind of nice. And two separate slides, flash the $7 and whatever, and then flash this million people. It can go by that fast, and it's still really nice. So let me see if there's anything that's really. You had one, Ryan, that had a subtitle, a really long subtitle, and at the end.
One of the slides.
Yeah, that one. And so it's especially important for, you did do the picking up differing impact by industry, but also say something that lets the audience know what the subtitle says, so that I don't try to read it.
I see. Yeah.
Okay, then let's just talk delivery, and then we can move on to the next group. Anything about delivery? Individually or as a group, either one?
As a group, I thought you guys were great. The tone was nice and measured across all of you, which was fantastic. Josh, I thought your presentation from the pictures was great. The only feedback that I wrote down is Kevin, sometimes you did kind of tend to read off the screen a little bit. But that's just practice that I felt like. So. Well, that's great. Sorry about that.
That's
Which is
called
what I would do.
practice.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
we didn't have anything going on this morning.
Were you guys practicing when we were practicing?
Yeah, and I don't think it would take a lot more, especially now that it's actually been on its feet and you've heard your own voice. Your pace was good, your commentary was good, even though you two were working off of notes. To really create a style that crosses nicely across all four presenters, you two wouldn't have notes because they didn't. If you want to either take that away as knowledge or as let me see if I can do it. And even though the level of energy and the pace was consistent across you, the two of you tended to look back at the screen when you didn't need to. And I think that that's the big temptation. And every once in a while you would, but it was mostly to emphasize the meaning of something, but be really careful about it. It's okay to glance back to the audience to say, and now we're gonna talk about that, but let them look at it while you're facing them. Because the temptation is that you keep doing this even though you don't really need to be looking at it. I don't know why we do this, but we do. Being aware of that and I'm just seeing if there's, and just be aware of your eye contact. All of you were making eye contact around the entire five of us, but make sure that you are evenly distributing that and that you're actually really looking at people. You were doing that pretty consistently. You look like somebody who's been in front of people a lot.
Yep.
And so he's kind of the model to aspire to. I think that we can move on because I think you'll see on your tape any other of the little polish things, but you guys looked comfortable and good and professional up there.
Great, thanks.
I don't get a paper for econ.
That was